Yeah. So now to think about this shit. Put this thing together they call life, y'all. Man! Yeah, let's get started. Let's get started, man. Let's get started on this shit, man. Let's talk about the thing that's going on in the world that we ain't even paying attention to, and it's the crime rate, man. I see so many motherfuckers in this world that's following this thing that they call the trap of life, man. There's too many young motherfuckers out here that's robbing, stealing, and killing, don't know how to hustle and stay the fuck out the way, man. I watch the news 24/7, 7 days a week. I report about this shit, man. The saddest thing that I see that's going on in America is you. A lot of people don't want to talk about it because they don't want to characterize or label the people that's doing it because they scared of the narrative that's gonna be thrown on the average people. But sometimes you gotta say them motherfucking children of all colors, black, Chinese, Asian, and every other motherfucking creed, them motherfuckers evil, man. Them young motherfuckers 13, 14 years old out in this world and they killing folks, man. I've been studying and killing folks, man. Motherfuckers ain't paying attention to the things that's going on in the world, and the main thing is them folks about to declare martial law out here, man. They about to declare martial law, and there's a lot of people that's gonna get caught up in the situation. And people gonna be always screaming and hollering, oh, they're targeting black people, they are targeting they racial. If it takes them people to pull over every motherfucking car going up and down the street for them to save one innocent person's life, fuck it. I ain't got nothing to hide. Most motherfuckers, the citizens of the world, they ain't doing nothing but getting up, going to work, trying to grind and stay the fuck out the way. Them folks don't affect them no kind of way. Them folks can't affect you if you ain't in their way, man. And I tell people every day, when you watch the news and you watch social media, you see the dumbest shit that you ever seen in life, man. You watch motherfuckers be on this motherfucker and they be confessing to crime that they committing. I'm doing a story right now out of Georgia where the Georgia DA Fulton County has started charging these two juveniles, 14 years old, with gang RICO charges because they can prove that them young motherfuckers in the neighborhood of what they call they ops. Them stupid motherfuckers went on. People say you can go on Snapchat and Snapchat disappear anything that you on this internet. If a motherfucker catch it quick enough and can record it, your ass grass, man. That's why I tell motherfuckers that think they shit in technology, you ain't smarter than shit that these folks ain't even showed you yet, man. Motherfuckers say, well, if you talking on FaceTime, they can't see and they can't record. But if the coward motherfucker on the other side letting them folk hold that motherfucker up, they're recording you if they watching you, man. Motherfuckers in this world don't never pay attention to things that them folk be saying in the news. Them folk be telling you, watch out. Watch out. Them folk be telling you, man, you know how, I'm gonna tell you this. A lot of people don't understand that, you know, The hardest thing in the world is right now them folks focusing their whole motherfucking campaigns on is what's taking lives. That's a fentanyl, man. If a motherfucker fucking with fentanyl, you need to take that shit, flush it down the toilet, and find you another lane because them folk coming and knocking at your door, man. Them folks ain't because too many motherfucking white folks, rich white people, don't got addicted to that shit, and them folk can't control that shit in their own neighborhoods now, man. This ain't no different than crack cocaine back in the 80s and 90s. It was never a problem when they was in the ghetto getting high and falling over robbing liquor stores and robbing high and falling over robbing liquor stores and robbing convenience stores. But as soon as one of them motherfuckers that got money, son or daughter, pass out in the streets or die in a car wreck, them folk put every motherfucker that ever touched that shit on the news, man. They do. They do. Them folk go out to every motherfucker but the person that actually took the thing that killed their motherfucking self. Cause like that a motherfucker don't know that this shit out here, that if you snort, smoke, lick, taste, this shit killing you out here, man. These folks telling you that these folks ain't even fucking, they ain't even out here playing the game fair no more. They ain't even out here selling motherfuckers what they asking for. They selling motherfuckers what they want to sell fuckers, man. Motherfuckers on became so greedy that if you don't know, you don't know. But if you know, motherfuckers, everybody out here think they can and don't know what the average motherfucker is allergic to. Man, I did a story earlier where them folks caught 165 pounds of ketamine coming through the motherfucking airport in Atlanta, Georgia, man. Not fentanyl, a motherfucking horse tranquilizer. Because that's what they giving folks out there, man. A motherfucker take a tenth of that horse tranquilizer and kill a motherfucker, man. Motherfucker out here got so. I remember when I was growing up, it was only two drugs in the world. It was three. There was 3, 4 drugs that other people done. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You had people that popped pills that came from the doctors. You had people that smoked weed. You had people that done the cocaine. You had people that done the heroin. But no motherfucker putting nothing in nothing that was gonna kill no motherfucker, man. The worst thing that a motherfucker might do to some coke is put some BC on it and make it more, man. The most thing that a motherfucker might do with some heroin is throw some goddamn some benefiber in that motherfucker and chop it up and make it grow bigger, man. But these motherfuckers out here nowadays, boy, they out here playing them kinds of commie games, man. Them folk don't give a fuck what they got and who they give it to. And I always wonder, how the fuck is you keeping customers if all your customers dying, man? I don't understand that shit, man. The world is so fucked up now that you got to pay attention to the thing that's going on. People out here ready to kill themselves, man. People out here is literally waking up every day taking a 99% chance of snorting something because they don't like the way their life going, man. That's insane to me, man. Every day I wake up, man, I thank the God that he gave me the breath and the strength to stand and say, all right, let's get this shit. That's all the fuck I need. I don't need no motivation or no other things. The only thing I need to do is God wake me up and I'm going to go at it. Wake me at it and I'm going to show my talent on this internet and on the stage anytime you can put me up against somebody. Because I know how to have intelligent conversations about things that people need to be talking about. And the things that people need to be talking about is how you going to stop the killings and how you going to stop the people from dying. You need to target the right motherfuckers and not blame the wrong motherfuckers, man. You know what I mean? These folks out here grown out here doing these things to their motherfucking self, man. Ain't no motherfucker out here giving nothing out for free. Ain't no motherfucker out here with a sign talking about come get this, man. You got motherfuckers out here that's been brought back with that cane 30-some thousand times, and that's a thrill to them folks, man. I ain't never in my life wanted any kind of drug if it came from a doctor or came from the street that made my heart pump faster than it already pumped or make it pump slower than it already pumped. I don't want no in-betweens. I'm having enough of a problem begging God to keep me alive with what he gave me, and I sure ain't gonna poison the motherfucker. You can't sit up here and say, God bless me for this and help me for that. And I promise if you can't keep making promises you know you can't keep. You can't keep saying things and begging for things and you ain't even working to get that shit, man. You know, motherfuckers like, man, you got 64,000 followers. You got this, man. Look, I go hard on this shit, man. I don't bite my tongue. I'm a real motherfucker in every kind of way. Can't nobody question me, man. I don't play no reindeer games. I stay away from situations that I know might end up me in that motherfucking clinker, man. I stay away from nothing ass motherfuckers that I can smell the police when they coming too close, man. I can smell them. I stay away from them folks, man. You know, I figured out a long time ago, man, that the streets ain't what you want to be a part of, man. The streets ain't what you want to be a part of, man. Any motherfucker that had to grow up in the streets because they had to, because they was forced to, them motherfuckers ain't cheering and plotting, talking about, I grew up in the hood, thank God I grew up in the hood instead of Beverly Hills. Man, get the fuck out of here. If a motherfucker want to grow up anywhere, he wouldn't want to be in fucking poverty. If a motherfucker could ever grow up somewhere they didn't ever want to grow up asking motherfuckers for food or walking around with holes in their shoes, motherfuckers don't know the struggle of some people and the survivors that don't survive situations that motherfuckers beg a part of that don't even got to be a part of it, man. The worst thing in the world is when I see a motherfucker that ain't been in that life talk about that life, act like they're about life, but them folks really ain't about that life, man. Motherfuckers think that it take a rocket scientist to sell dope, but I know some whores and strippers and nothing ass junkies that sell crack, man. Motherfuckers glorify motherfuckers and don't even think about what they glorifying until somebody knock on their door and somebody knock their grandmama or rob their motherfucking kid or rape their motherfucking daughter. Now the same motherfucker that they was laughing at, giggling about, is the same motherfucker trying to get to and knock their motherfucking mama off, man. I tell people every day that if you out here robbing, stealing, and killing, you gotta always put yourself in the situation that what if somebody did that to your mama? What if somebody did that to your sister? Would you feel the same way? Would you be out here talking about free John John, free Poop Poop, free that motherfucker when you know they're a nothing ass motherfucker? Would you still be out here encouraging motherfuckers to throw up gang signs on at them gang members when they gang raped a young motherfucking woman just because they thought they could? Motherfuckers cheer on bullshit, but I tell you this, man, if a motherfucker touch a hair on the head of anything that I brought on this earth or anything I love, I swear to God, and God can take the breath out of me right now, I'm going to knock on your mama door if I can't get to you. I'm going to knock on your kids' door, your sister's door. I'm going to take everything off this motherfucking planet, and while you in jail cell, I'm going to let you feel my pain that you brought up on my family that we didn't ask for, man. See, that's what motherfuckers don't understand. Every motherfucker ain't focused on calling the police to save them from situations. Some motherfuckers know that if you in the wrong, cross the right motherfucker, you gonna end up in a bag and them folks be putting you in a motherfucking urn and telling people stories about what you used to do and what you used to say, but until you bumped into the right motherfucker and they took you up off this planet. It's too many motherfuckers that want to be ghetto superstars and ghetto heroes and die with no money in their pocket, no land to their name, only debt to leave to their kids. Motherfuckers want to leave ghetto stories to their kids? Is that all the fuck you want your children to remember by? Is your daddy was out there swinging that hammer? Your daddy used to fuck all the little sluts and whores in the projects? The fuck? Your daddy died in the penitentiary because he was gangbanging? Man, I seen so many motherfuckers when I was in prison be in the same prison with their children, man. With their sons, man. These motherfuckers is Kenneth Holman Sr. and Kenneth Holman Jr. They ain't even committed the crime together. The daddy was in prison for 30 years and then the son came to prison later on. And them folks used to go at it in the pod like father and son, and they was in two different fucking gangs. But the daddy had to tell them young niggas, this is my motherfucking son. So if I want to walk up and smack the shit out of him because I see that he going down the wrong way, I'm gonna smack the shit out of him. But then the daddy had to sit back and realize that his son was not following his footsteps to be just like Big K because they called him K. Big K was a terrorist in the street. Big K was that motherfucker that was out there putting motherfuckers in the dumpsters in the projects that he robbed them for. So when Lil K came up and Lil K mama didn't move him out the projects and didn't move him out of the situation that the people was encouraging him to be just like daddy, he fell into the trap of being a nigga that was just like his daddy, and he was like, nigga, call me Lil K, nigga. You know, and that's what people don't understand. These children out here, male and female, they mimic their mamas and their daddies, man. If the daughter don't see nothing but the mama sitting around selling pussy on Instagram and TikTok at 30, 40 years old, that make the motherfucking daughter say, well, damn, is that what it's about? Children mimic their fucking parents, man. If a man out here and he got kids and he's not taking care of his kids and he's nothing but a womanizer, he's nothing but a nothing ass motherfucker, and people accept that and make a child think that that's cool, then that male gonna grow up and he gonna mimic his father and be a nothing ass motherfucker because didn't nobody teach him how to become a man. Didn't nobody teach him the correct thing to say and the correct thing to do as a man. And that's just like with a woman. You know, I remember days when women taught women, young ladies, how to become women, how to sit, how to stand, how to dress, how to talk, how to present yourself to attract the right mate and not the wrong motherfuckers, man. But that shit out the window, man. You know, I remember when a motherfucker, my grandmama used to tell me every day when I walked out the house, well, make sure you got clean drawers and socks and wash your ass, boy. Make sure you got clean drawers and socks and wash your ass and brush your hair before you walk out that door. When you walk out that door, you represent the person that raised you, and I didn't raise you that way. In this household, we wash our ass and comb our hair and brush our teeth every fucking day. Every night before we go to sleep, we wash the dishes after we eat, and then everybody towels and then clean the bathroom up so when the lights go out in the house, hey, you don't smell no pine salt, man. A lot of motherfuckers stop teaching their children how to be clean, how to have a household, how to be what you would call a domestic type person. People don't give a fuck when some people invite people over their house knowing that there's trash on the floor and cat piss and dog shit, all that in the carpets and floor shit. I can't do that, man. If a motherfucker comes to my house, the first thing I want them to do is feel invited into my house. When they walk in, I'm letting them know the ghetto house you're thinking about, bro. When you walk in, you're going to smell bleach and pine salt. Take your shoes off. You know what I mean? And if you think I'm too good for you to take your shoes off, you can go back outside. You know what I mean? Because people don't understand how much trash and debris and nasty shit you pick up walking around on the streets. Your shoes. People don't realize sometimes when you walking around in gas station parking lots or parking lots, period, look down and somebody spit up a big ass lug on the ground. Just imagine how many times you didn't see that lug and you might have stepped in that mother. Just imagine how many times that you might have been drunk somewhere and hung out the car and threw up in the parking lot and them folks ain't never cleaned that shit up before. Never. I don't been in some parking lots that be so fucking disgusting that you like, man, y'all folks got all this money and y'all got all that gum out there in the parking lot. Y'all got all that gook, all that oil, all that spit, all that vomit. Y'all folks can get a pressure washer from Home Depot and go out there and clean that shit, man. But that lets you know what type of business you dealing with when you come up to a business and they got a walkway in front of that and that walkway ain't, if it's snow on the ground, that motherfucker gonna be shoveled if it's a nice business. If it's hot outside and the grounds are dry, the ground gonna be clean. You gonna see where they got all the spills and deals of what people on spilled on in front of them because they don't want them folk tracking that inside restaurants. You know, people don't really just focus on the small things, but they be the biggest thing that affect you. Like I tell you, when I went to a McDonald's restaurant one day, and when I pulled up to the window, the dude that took the money with the same person that was gonna hand me my food. And he handed me my when he took the money, I looked in his nails, and up under his nails was just like dirt. Like dirt, like this might have been his second job, and he might have been working on cars or scratching his ass. I don't know what the fuck it was, but I told him hold up because when he grabbed the food, he already done stuck his hands in the food. Check the food. I said, "No, bro, I'm good. I don't want that. Let me speak to your manager." And when the manager came to the window, I told the manager, I said, "Man, look." She was like, "What's the problem?" I said, "Man, I don't want that." She said, "What's the problem?" I said, "Tell dude to come back over here real quick." And when she brought him back over there, I said, "Look at his hands." She grabbed his hand like that. She said, "You can go home." Because a lot of people don't understand, like in other countries, like Japan, China, and other countries, it's real clean. Those, before they start their shifts at restaurants just like McDonald's, they make sure them folk got hair nets on. They make sure them folk got their fingernails cut all the way down to the tip. That's mandatory. They mandatory make sure they clean. Because I remember back in the day when you used to go to restaurants and people had hair nets on because we know hair falls out of people's hair and on people's food. But nowadays, we don't get to the point where we don't even pay attention and they don't even fuck. So it don't even require people to wear hair nets. I wash their ass, I hold their clothes up. Right? You feel me? You know what I mean? That's the crazy thing. You walk in these restaurants now, and these young motherfuckers that are playing in their hair, playing in their ass, got their hands on their nuts. You know what I mean? They don't got no professional, you know, they ain't got no professional about it, man. Ain't nothing professional about these young folks in restaurants. I remember that's why when I first went on my first job interview when I was like 15 years old, I went to a Arby's and I started working at a Arby's. And you know, them folks wanted to make sure when you walked in, my grandmama told me before you go, come home, put on some good slacks, put on a nice shirt, put on some dress shoes, go up in there, even though it's a restaurant, go up in there like you going to a business meeting to get that job. Because people wanted you when you even when you came in to work with the uniforms on, them folk made you tuck your shirt in. You didn't go, oh man, I ain't doing that shit, man, with your back all on. You didn't do all that, man. You was grateful to have that motherfucking job. You know what I mean? Because with fast food jobs as a child at 15, 16, that's like gravy because you working with most motherfuckers you know, then you eating whatever food you working at. You feel me? So you winning and you winning. You feel me? But nowadays, you can't even eat at restaurants, man. If you don't actually see the people that's preparing your food, you can't even eat at restaurants. That's why I'm skeptical about getting food from like DoorDash because I don't seen some people come in DoorDash cars and they car be full of motherfucking trash and shit, man. Car be like they living in that motherfucker. And then I don't seen on the internet where some people do be living in their cars and DoorDashing and they got dirty clothes in their car. They got, you know, they got their little pots and pans they cooking in their car. So they got they odors and they smells are all on your food. All you know what I mean? And I'm like, that's kind of weird to me. You know what I mean? I ain't messed up with the way that people do it. You know, you do what you do. You know, you DoorDash, but then you gotta separate DoorDashing from you living. You can't tell me you living in your car and you riding around with dirty clothes and shit, and you might not have washed your ass today, but you trying to bring my food. There ain't nothing separating your odors and your smells from your body odor or your clothes or your car smell is a bag, a paper bag. Because I don't walked up on some people before in my life and the odor of their body felt like that motherfucker jumped up on me like a spider, man, and went home with me. You ever been around a motherfucker so funky that you leave that motherfucker and you still smell that motherfucker like, damn. I know if I smell you and I got your smell on me, I know you smell yourself. You know what I mean? That's just like if you get in the car with a motherfucker and you're in a car with the windows up and you can smell that motherfucker breath. You like, God damn. I know if I smell this, I know you don't think that's my breath, motherfucker. I know you don't think that these mother wipers in my mouth, I ain't got that many. But I know you don't think my motherfucker, because I brush my teeth at least 2, 3 times a day because I smoke a lot. You know what I mean? And if I drink, I brush them a little bit more because I don't want that. that nasty taste that you have after you've been drinking and it's like your mouth feel yucky. You feel me? Man, I tell people, man, you understand one thing. If you live long enough, you can talk about all type of shit, man. You know, when you live long enough, you can talk about shit that you survived to be able to laugh about that. Because I survived a lot of shit. Survived a lot of situations. Never ever have I ever said that I give up. I ain't never ever tapped out on the ground and said, I give up, man. I always say, man, God, just give me one more day. Give me one more motherfucking day. If you give me one more day to shine, that might be the day to get that motherfucking bag that I always dreamed of. You know, that's why I say you gotta work hard at what you do, man. You gotta be good at what you do, but you gotta work hard at what you do. You know what I mean? Like people don't understand that this internet thing has become the most popular thing in the world, and more people make money off the internet than doctors and lawyers and judges and you know what I mean? But it's all about having the talent, being able to catch the people's attention and be able to have conversations with normal people about normal things that's going around in the world. You can't be fake, man. You can't be phony. You gotta be straight. That's why my platform is called Straight to the Point Podcast. Because I don't pussyfoot around their situation. Even if I fell in the trap and I was a dummy in a situation, I'm gonna say, hey. I was a dumb motherfucker. You know, because every motherfucker can't be right in every situation. Sometimes motherfuckers fall for traps in life that you never thought you would fall for. Sometimes people walking through life fall through that trap door in life because you're never prepared for situations that you never ever focused on. You're never prepared for situations that other human beings will put you in situations because you live your life. I live my life through loyalty, respect. Meaning, as long as you respect me and I respect you, I don't even gotta like you, but I'm gonna respect you. And when it comes to loyalty, loyalty is a whole nother situation. Loyalty means that if I'm willing to take all my motherfucking breath in my and grind and hustle to make sure that you are successful, you better not let me down, man. You better not let me down. I tell my children, if I take penitentiary chances, grind and do everything I gotta do besides take stuff from somebody to make sure that y'all be great, don't let me down, man. Let me down. And sometimes you are gonna have them children that get grown and do what the fuck they wanna do. I get grown and think they grown, but then still ask you for help when they need you, man. But sometimes you gotta tell a motherfucker, man, I ain't your motherfucking bungee cord, and you can't expect to get swung back every time. I can't bring you back to life, man. I can't stop your problem because your problems ain't my problems. That's why I don't listen to people, man. Like I have people that be trying to call me sometimes, they never pop up, and I know they ain't finna do nothing but talk about bullshit, man. You know, anybody that call you every day and not one day out of 7 days that they call you, they don't tell you nothing that's good going on in their life. They don't tell you, oh man, I just hit up and I'm having the most wonderful day. But every time you talk to them, oh, I'm finna go DoorDash and I gotta pay this and I gotta pay that and I need this. It ain't that motherfucking much DoorDashing and working that a motherfucker be doing 24 hours a day unless you smoking dope, man. Ain't no motherfucking way. And then sometimes I be having people that do DoorDash be talking to me. And they be like, DoorDash pay by the hour. And I'm like, what you mean? They telling me what if you go out and sometimes it might be 14, sometimes it might be 12, sometimes it be 11. And some people be thinking like it's $11 an hour, $12 an hour, and I ain't gotta work for that. Them folks that send a motherfucker across the motherfucking state within an hour make you waste every bit of that $11 in gas. That's insane. I had a motherfucker tell me the other day they doing that 6 straight hours and only made $97. You literally went out in your motherfucking car for 7 straight motherfucking hours made 700 motherfucking deliveries all the way across Nashville, and you didn't make nothing but $97? That was a waste of motherfucking time. Cause then when they tell me, well, I had to put 45 in my gas tank, and so you went out there for 7 hours for $40. Now I understand I ain't gonna knock you because 40 is $40. But then you gotta realize the wear and tear you put on your car, your tires. That's why them folks started coming up with these apps where you can go through DoorDash and Lyft and them folks will rent you a car. They'll literally let a motherfucker go get a car, but it's a catch to that. They tell the market that if you get a Lyft car, you can only do you can't use it for your personal needs. Any miles that you use for your personal needs, they take it out your Lyft account when you do your lifts. And then you got to do a certain amount of hours a week in that car. You got to do like a certain amount of hours in that car to make sure that car paid for, man. You know, that's what motherfuckers don't understand. I'm like, man, people think that they really got an easier way to make easy money when that ain't, that's kind of crazy. I don't see that. There's too much complications in my life, too many people you have to interact with. You know, it's too many people, man. Then if you doing Lyft, you picking up strange motherfuckers every second of the day. Motherfucker getting in the car behind your head and you don't know what they going through. Most motherfuckers you pick up at downtown bars, they've been drinking, they've been trying all type of drugs and shit, get in the car with you and flip the fuck out, and now you going to jail. You going to hell and they going to jail, you know. People don't get too comfortable or too lazy to the point where I really, if I ain't got a car, I call one of my friends before I call a Lyft. I ain't forgetting call with no strange motherfucker. You hear, I tell stories all the time about Lyft drivers getting pulled over by the police and they got active warrants and shit. Now the police got you sitting on the side of the road because your Lyft driver got 3 outstanding warrants for meth. Now you in a Lyft and the police pulling you in the Lyft drive out and this gun in the seat, 2, 3 crack pipes, and now they want to try to charge you and the Lyft drive. That's another thing. I ain't never been secure with letting people know anybody get in my car because you never know what a motherfucker drop on the ground when the police cut them lights on. You never know. That's why I don't get in. I don't get in everybody's car. It's very rare that I get in somebody's car. And if I get in there, it's for a split second. It ain't for a long period of time. You know, because you never know what people might have in their car. And I don't been in cars where motherfuckers say they gonna take their charge and no motherfucker don't take their charge. You know. Yeah, I almost popped up. He came over and knocked on the door earlier. I was like, my cousin? Yeah, I told him, he said, he told me to come on. He could have said, I said, my uncle some weed. I said, man, look here. Because he was knocking on the door. He was kind of hard. I don't catch the door like that. Like, he talked to you. He talked to me, but I didn't know he was coming. Yeah. He almost got it. He almost situation.